right, we're going to get started in just a minute. Having minor technical difficulties here, so here we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm just going over to the actual page because I would love for you guys to send in some comments for me. We're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. I've got a lot of great information here, and yeah, so we're just, let's see here if I can, I'm not really sure how to get the comments going. All right, so my name is Kate Cavenagh. You might know me as Katie, depending on how you know me from tap dance or from what I do now. So I am a personal transformation coach, and I have been working with people lately to help them get rid of their fears and focus on finding peace and creating space so that we can really start to come from a place of love and compassion as we move through the fear and uncertainty of what we have going on in the world today. So I wanted to start by saying thank you, first of all, for showing up and watching this video. And not thank you for showing up for me, but thank you for showing up for you. You're taking a very powerful step right now towards showing up in a way that allows you to be more peaceful. It allows you to choose how you feel, and it says something to who you are and who you want to be. And when you show up in this way, you're saying, I'm choosing something different, right? I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing to feel better. I'm choosing change. And when you put those ripples out into the universe, the wonderful thing is that you're going to get that back. That's the way the universe works. So if you're putting out feelings of goodness, you're going to get goodness back. So we're going to talk all about that today. The name of this class is Finding Peace in the Pandemic, and I'm going to take you through 5 of some of my favorite and actually very results-focused ways that you can bring peace into your life. And these are ways that that give you fast results. You will start to see immediate results after doing some of these exercises. And there are things that I've practiced for the past 6 or 7 years to completely turn my life around. So if you have a notebook, awesome. If you don't, go grab a piece of paper and a pen real quick, because I'm going to give you a whole bunch of tips and tricks that you can use, and it'd be good to just jot down some little notes for yourself so that you can come back to them later, because sometimes we don't always remember. So I will give you a second to do that as I take a sip here. I've got a lot of wonderful stuff for everyone today. So I want to start, I wrote down this little idea that I had before I got started, and I wanted to just say that oftentimes we let external forces dictate how we feel instead of going inward and realizing that we have the power to choose. All right? So peace is a choice. Fear is a choice. Okay? And we may not be aware of the fact that we always We are always the ones that are in control of what we think, say, do, and feel. All right? No one else can control that. And you have the power, even though sometimes we might think that we don't have the power to control these things. We really do. And I feel that a lot of us may be on autopilot. We may not be recognizing that we have the power to make these choices, and our subconscious is driving the bus. You know, sometimes you have these knee-jerk reactions, or you just instantly react the same way to things that are happening around you, instead of taking a minute to breathe, understand what's happening, and then give a conscious response. So that's part of what we're going to be doing today. Is I'm going to show you ways that you can create that space for yourself, so that you're not giving this instant reaction that you're so used to giving, and you can create space, take a breath, and then respond in a way that comes from a centered place, a place of calm, a place of love, a place of compassion. So you can type into the comments, because I would love for you all to answer this question, and you can write this down on your paper as well. I want to know, how are you feeling right now, this minute? How do you feel? All right, and now I want you to think about how this feeling is affecting your life. All right, so if I'm feeling fearful right now, that might cause me to experience knee-jerk reactions of anger, perhaps, and lashing out where I wouldn't necessarily lash out, or maybe I'm feeling stressed, and that feeling is causing me to not sleep at night. These things that we feel in the moment actually can carry through us throughout the day, and can affect the way that we experience life in general, and bring it down to something that we don't necessarily feel so good about. And I'm actually really excited to be able to share this all with you, because I've been able to live now in a way that feels really good, in a way that feels really calm and peaceful and loving. And I want all of you to be able to experience that too. So I'm going to kind of jump right in and talk about being conscious as we, I love this, energized. And people are feeling energized. This is great. I want us to feel conscious instead of on autopilot. So take a minute and think about where in your life, or even where in your day today, you may have had an autopilot response or a knee-jerk reaction, where you instantly reacted to something that perhaps triggered you. And now I want you to think as well, was there anywhere in your day that you got triggered and took a step back to respond? All right. Knowing that difference between where you're reacting and where you're responding will give you a lot of information about what's going on inside. Okay, and we're gonna cover that in a minute. So when you have these knee-jerk reactions, there's something deep down inside of you that is telling you that you need change. Okay, and I want you to see if anywhere in those times where you had those reactions, especially in your day today, what might that be telling you? Okay, it's kind of just an exercise for you to think back on and see if anything under the surface might need just a little bit more attention, something that might need to just be addressed or just acknowledged. When you can acknowledge the way that you're feeling, especially acknowledging the feelings that you've pushed down and don't want to feel, it allows you to release it a lot easier, and you can send it love, and you can just say thank you for showing up and letting me know that there's something that I might need to address or deal with or just acknowledge. All right. So I want to talk about now, what are you focusing on every day? What is the main thought that's going through your head? And especially today, in the situation that the world is in, where there's a lot of uncertainty, where there's a lot of fear, where there's a lot of worry, where there's a lot of anxiety, are these your dominant thoughts? Do these thoughts show up everywhere in your day, leaving you feeling overwhelmed or out of control even? What you focus on is what you're going to get. So I want to just explain that very quickly. When you are focused on something, especially that you don't want, you're still focused on that thing. So, for example, if you're saying, I don't want to get sick, you're still actually focused on the sickness, even though you're saying it's something that you don't want. So focusing your thoughts on what you do want is an instant way to bring peace. That's actually not even one of the ones I'm going to talk about. So bonus, yay, that's exciting. When you're focusing on what you do want, you can powerfully attract that back to you. So if you've ever heard of the law of attraction, that's the way the universe works. What you put out, you get back. So let's go back to if you're thinking about you don't want to get sick. So you're still putting out, you're energizing that sickness, that vibration, that frequency of sickness. And so it will still be drawn to you because that's what your main focus is. However, if you turn that around and focus on, I am strong and healthy, then that is what you will get back in return. So words are very, very important when you're sending out your intentions into the universe and what your dominant thoughts are. So try to think about what your dominant thoughts are. What are they saying, right? Are you focused on what you don't want, or are you focused on what you do want? That makes a really big difference in how much peace actually can come into your life. So with that, I am going to talk about 5 wonderful ways that you can bring peace into your life right now. So first off, and I think some of you did this today, those of you who are feeling energized, get physical. Number 1, get physical. And that can be going for a walk, that can be dancing in your living room, especially with your kids. It's great to get everybody moving. It just allows your body to release some things that you might have pent up. And by moving, you kind of take your mind off of what's happening, especially if you're doing something that's focused, like dancing or playing a sport, or if you're running and you're running to get your heart rate up, right? You don't really have time to think about the thoughts that are causing you anxiety or worry because you're focused on the task at hand. So other things that you can do that are physical to help you release some of the stress and anxiety, you can cry. That's a physical act. You can punch a pillow. That's always fun and a great way to relieve stress, and one of my favorites. If you have a big house and maybe teenagers, you could have a pillow fight, because why not? That's fun too. I want you to think about what other ways that you enjoy being physical, and maybe list 2 or 3 that could be your go-tos if you start feeling a little overwhelmed, or if you're extremely stressed out, or if you get angry, or if you're just at that point of, I just don't know what to do, right? Get moving, okay? So the second thing that has worked, it's worked miracles for me, and I swear by this, is morning and or night brain dumps. And if you've read The Artist Way, Julia Cameron calls it morning pages. I know there's a very successful business person or people who do this as well. And I like to do mine in the morning, and I'm going to tell you why, but at nighttime is also something that's super, super beneficial. So I'm going to talk about the morning brain dump first. You want to just get a piece of paper or 2 or 3 even, and you just sit and you just write. It's just a stream of consciousness. You're never going to go back and read these again. It's just a way to get things off your mind, especially if you wake up and you're anxious, or if you wake up and you're depressed, or if you've had a bad night's sleep, or if you're angry. Just get it all on paper. Sometimes it feels so good to just let it out, because you can't always talk to someone about some of the things that you feel for whatever reasons you might have. And so just to talk to yourself and get it out and get it on paper actually will free up space in your mind, so your brain doesn't have to hold on to it, right? Your brain is the idea machine. And so it can't hold on to all of these things that you're trying to remember. So get it down on paper, and it will help you actually to work through some of the things that you might be feeling anxiety about. And it's sort of like your own personal therapist. You get to see it on paper, and then you can think back and be like, oh, I wonder why I have that thought, or is there something else that's underneath this that's causing me to feel this way? Or why am I even feeling that way in general? This is a silly thing to worry about. It's really nothing at all now that I see it on paper. So that's one of the things that's definitely helped me. And then also these the morning pages or morning brain dump, if you have a massive to-do list that you're constantly thinking about, and you wake up like, how am I going to get this done? What? I have to do this, I have to do that. Write it down. And again, that's just going to bring instant relief. And then the nighttime brain dump is so useful, because you just get inundated with all of this stuff all day long, especially if you are on social media a lot, or if you tend to watch a lot of the news, or if you're just trying to balance work and home life and homeschooling the kids now and trying to keep them entertained. And there's a lot right now on everyone's plate. And so one of the most important things that we can do is get a good night's sleep. That's how our body recovers and repairs itself. And so if you try to go to sleep with a million things on your mind, it becomes very, very difficult to actually fall asleep and then stay asleep and have a good night's sleep. Sometimes, waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat because you're just so anxious about something that's been playing on repeat in your mind. Get it on paper. Again, this is a way to just let your brain just dump everything onto the paper so you don't have to remember it. And it's something that if you want to, you can come back to it, but I don't recommend it. Just write it down, close the book, go to sleep. All right. Sometimes it also helps to write down like a specific problem that you've had during the day and just write about it. And it helps to, again, just unravel some of the things that might be plaguing you or that you don't know how to deal with. Sometimes just from writing a stream of consciousness for 10 or 15 minutes, all of a sudden the answer will appear for you. So the morning and or night brain dump is, for me, it's been invaluable, and it's totally changed my life, and I recommend it to every single person. All right, and if you're not a writer, you can do it on like a voice record or something like that. That's just as effective, and then you just delete it right afterwards. All right, so the third thing, and this is a big one, some of you might get mad at me, but limit your social media and media intake. This is one of the most important things. Yes, you do need to be informed. Make, good choices on where you're getting your information from. I personally don't watch the news. I have it filtered through my husband. If there's something important that I need to know, he will tell me. But I'm not the kind of person who will sit in front of the news because it brings me massive anxiety. And that's one of the things, getting rid of watching the news has completely eradicated my anxiety. And when you limit the amount of external intake, you're able to form your own opinions, and you're able to, again, make the choice of finding peace and not being so influenced by what you think you should feel, or how you think you should feel, or how other people think you should feel. Social media and the media really does influence your emotions. And so you want to be able to find that peace and that power within yourself. So some of the best advice I could give is the first hour from when you wake up until that first hour has passed, don't turn on the TV. Don't pick up your phone. Don't open your laptop. Take that hour and do your morning writing. Have a cup of tea or coffee. Make yourself breakfast and sit and be present just doing that, right? And then the 1 hour before you go to bed, turn off the news. Put your phone down. Close your laptop. And just enjoy what your day has been. Use that time to do your nightly brain dump. Use that time to sit and relax, to breathe, maybe do some yoga or read a book. Take that time to decompress. There's been a ton of studies actually done on the effects of the blue light from TV and from your cell phone and your laptop at night, and how it negatively affects your sleep. So you now have 2 reasons to turn everything off and take the hour before bedtime just for you. That is one thing that will help you sleep better. And when you sleep better, you feel better, right? Okay, so the 4th thing I have for you continues on with writing, and that is to create a gratitude journal. There is nothing more powerful than gratitude, especially when you are in need of peace. When you are vibrating at the frequency of gratitude, when you are on that vibe of love and appreciation, you absolutely cannot feel the opposite. So you won't be able to feel anger. You won't be able to feel fear. You won't be able to be overwhelmed, because they're 2 different frequencies, right? I always say you wouldn't if you're trying to listen to Big D 103, you wouldn't tune into Country 92.5, right? Because they're not a match. So we want to raise ourselves up to be on a high vibe, a high frequency, so that we feel good. Those higher vibrations of gratitude, love, compassion, kindness, hopefulness, those are the good feelings. And that's where we want to be so that we can get peace. All right. So when we're on those lower vibrations of fear and anger, resentment, guilt, shame, embarrassment, worry, all of that stuff, it's a total different match. You're down here, where if you're up here, then it's a completely different feeling. You feel really, really good. And so that's what the gratitude journal will do for you. It will send you on an upward spiral. Okay, so I just want to talk about this upward spiral really quick, because I feel that, myself included, a lot of us have anxiety, and a lot of us are worried, and we have fear about what's happening right now. And when you have one thought, it's very easy for another thought to come in along the same lines, and another thought to come in along the same lines, and another thought to come in along the same lines. And so you get in this spiral where the next thing you know, you're on the couch for 4 months straight doing nothing but crying, right? We don't want to get to that point. And so the downward spiral, right, we have that going on, But it could also be reversed to be an upward spiral. And when you're working with the gratitude journal, you think of one thing that you're really thankful for. You write that down. All right. You sit in that one thing that you just wrote down. So I think somebody put in, I heard the birds singing this morning. That's such a wonderful thing to be grateful for. So you'd write that in, and then you feel, oh, it just felt so good to hear those birds singing because it reminded me that it's warm out and that nature is beautiful and there's so much more to life that I might not be looking at right now. And so you take that one thing you feel really grateful for, you sit in that feeling, and then you write another. You do the same thing. You sit in that new feeling of that next thing that you're grateful for, and then you think of another. And then you think of another and another and another and another, and before you know it, you have 10 things written down that you're grateful for. And so at any point during the day where you're starting to feel that you're getting stressed out or overwhelmed or upset for any reason, you can go back and you can read what you wrote in that gratitude journal for that day or throughout the day, and be reminded that there's a lot of good things in life and that there's a lot to be grateful for right now, no matter who you are or where you are or what you're doing. There's always something to be grateful for. And if we keep that at the forefront of our minds, that is an instant fast track to peace, right? So when you are grateful, you are on a high vibration. And when you're on that high vibration, it's really easy to get present. So that is the fifth thing that I have for you today. Fifth way to find more peace in your life is getting present. So there's a few ways that you can get present. Writing in your the brain dump in the morning or at the night is a great way to be present because you're literally just writing your stream of consciousness, right? Getting physical, another way to get present, because if you're not present when you're physical, that could be a disaster. Again, eliminating media, social media, things like that right before you go to bed or right after you wake up in the morning. You can find a way to get present with whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's just enjoying a cup of coffee. If you feel what that cup feels like when you put it to your lips, or you taste and really savor and describe the taste of the coffee or the tea or the water, whatever it is that you're drinking, another way to get super, super present. And just, using all of your senses. What's around you? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? What do you feel? These are wonderful, wonderful ways to bring yourself into immediate presence. So for this one, meditation is also another great way to get present. And along with breathing. Breathing is the fastest way to get present. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lead you through a really, really quick breathing exercise. It's basically 3 minutes, and I'm going to teach you how to get super present right now. So you can close your eyes, which I'm going to do, and I just want you to sit. Just sit. I want you to feel your body against the ground, against the chair, the sofa, the bed, whatever it is that you're sitting on. Just feel your back, feel your bottom, feel your legs, and just feel what it feels like to just sit for a moment. Now we're going to take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Now keep breathing and just listen to my voice. And I want you to feel the air as it comes in your lungs, filling up your body. And then I want you to feel the air as it goes out. I want you to feel your belly expanding and your chest expanding when you're breathing in. And then what does it feel like when it all deflates as the air goes out? And as you're breathing in, what does the air feel like? Does it feel cool? Does it feel sweet? And then how does it feel when you let it out? Is it warm? Is it sour? Breathing in and breathing out. Feel what that air feels like as it comes into your body and as it exits. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. And now I want you to continue breathing, and I want you to put the focus right on the tip of your nose. And I want you to keep it there as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And keeping your attention on what it feels like at the very, very tip of your nose, with the air coming in and the air going out. A few more breaths in and out. Again, keeping your attention on the breath, on the tip of the nose. And how does it feel when the air comes in and out? One more. Breathe in and out. Great. And whenever you're ready, if you closed your eyes, you can open your eyes and come back. And now I want to know, how are you feeling? When you were doing that breathing exercise, did you find your thoughts coming back, or did you find yourself able to focus? It's a very short exercise, but when you're focused on your breath and just feeling what it feels like to have the breath come in and out of your body, you're allowing yourself space to be present. And that's what we want. We want to be present, and you don't have to do this, 100 times a day or for an hour at a time. Even just taking a couple minutes to stop and breathe will help you get really present. And when you're present, you have peace. And the reason you have peace is because the present moment is really all we have. If you are living in the past, you might experience depression. If you are living in the future, you might experience anxiety. But when you are in the present, you will experience peace. And I believe I learned that from Eckhart Tolle. His book, The Power of Now, is a wonderful read. Totally changed my life, and how someone can be that present is such an inspiration. So I thought it was important to share that with you today. Because again, being present allows us space so that we can respond instead of react. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling triggered, or you're feeling angry or upset for any reason, just take a couple minutes and breathe and focus on what it feels like to have the breath come in and out of your body, because that will allow your mind to free itself up a little bit, and it'll take away some of those thoughts. So let's just recap everything that we've covered today. Some ways to give you instant peace. We had get physical. We had our morning and or night brain dump. Limiting social media and the news, especially an hour after you wake up and an hour before bed. We had the gratitude journal and the upward spiral of appreciation. And then we have getting present. So those are 5 ways that you can instantly bring peace into your life. And so a little homework, or another action step, if you will, for you guys. I want you to think of 3 specific things in relation to what we talked about today. Three specific things that you could do to bring peace into your life today. Okay? Then out of those 3, I want you to pick one, and I want you to do it. I want you to hold yourself accountable because you are the one that's in control of your life. Okay? So just by showing up today and taking this half hour-ish to watch this video, that is you being accountable for yourself for wanting change, for doing something to better your life. So congratulations for that. I'm really proud of you. So hopefully you can take away some really valuable information from this session. And if you have any questions about anything that I covered or even anything I didn't cover, you can email me at Katie, Katie, at feelyourlight.com, or you can check me out. You can check out my website, feelyourlight.com, or check me out on Facebook as well, feelyourlight.com. Or I think my Facebook is at Ignite Your Awareness, actually. I do give free workshops and events on finding peace and eliminating fear and raising your vibration. So I invite you to come along to those. You find the links on the Facebook event page. And I'm here to support you any way that I can as we navigate through all of these changes. And if you're having fears and if you're having worries or if you're overwhelmed or stressed out, you are not alone, okay? You are never alone. You never have to go through any of this alone. So I am here for you. Please, please, please feel free to reach out any way I can help you. I am happy to do that, okay? So thank you for showing up today, not for me, but for you. And I hope, again, that this has been valuable information. And enjoy this wonderful, beautiful day that we have outside. And I send you much love and much light.